Hello students, today we are going to study the topic DTFT. So what does DTFT stand for? As you can see, it is the discrete time Fourier transform. So you have already studied the Fourier transform. This is a special type which is the discrete time Fourier transform. As we can see the formula, it is represented by capital X E of j omega is equal to sigma n varying from minus infinity to infinity x of n e raised to the power minus j omega n. Let us try to understand this basic formula for DTFT. Now see, you have two domains for a signal. One is the time domain and one is the frequency domain. In the discrete time signals, the time is denoted by small n. So here x of n is representing the discrete time signal. That is the time domain signal. Now this signal we are converting from the time domain to the frequency domain by the help of this transform which is called DTFT. And here the frequency is denoted by omega. So capital X is representing the frequency domain and small x is representing the time domain signal. So this is the basic representation of DTFT on the LHS. The DTFT for a signal x of n is represented by capital X and within the brackets we write e raised to the power j omega. So this would be equal to the sum of, this means that n has to be varied from minus infinity to infinity and all the terms have to be added up. Like for example, if I take a signal x of n which is existing at n is equal to 1 and 2 only and otherwise it is 0, let's say. So this summation will consist of two terms, one term for x of 1 and one term for x of 2. We will see how to apply this in the coming lectures. So this is the first basic formula for DTFT. Now similarly, as we are converting the signal from time domain to frequency domain, we can convert a signal from frequency domain to time domain also. So for that we have the second formula which has been given here. In this second formula, the left hand side is representing x of n. So it is the time domain signal. And on the RHS you have capital X. So this is the frequency domain signal. So how we can find the time domain signal xn using the frequency domain signal capital X? 1 upon 2 pi integration, we are saying 2 pi. That means the period we are considering for integration is 2 pi. It can be 0 to 2 pi, it can be minus pi to pi and so on. Then we take capital X e raised to the power j omega multiplied by e raised to the power j omega n d omega. So what you have to remember here is an important point is there. In the first formula you observe the e raised to the power is a negative term and in the second formula you observe e raised to the power is a positive term. And also one more thing you have to keep in mind, it is d omega here. So these two formulas are the basic formulas for DTFT. And one more important point which you have to consider here is that DTFT is always a periodic signal with a period of 2 pi. Like when I have DTFT of some signal that will be periodic, that means it will repeat itself after a time period of 2 pi. Now let us see some properties of DTFT. So the first property is the linearity property. What does the linearity property say? Let us have two signals in time domain which are given by x1 of n and x2 of n. And let's say we are taking a and b as some numbers. Let's say a is equal to 3, b is equal to 4, something like that. and we are multiplying x1 of n by a and x2 of n by b. Now, what does this particular arrow stand for? It means that we are taking the DTFT or transform of the signal given on the left hand side. So if I take the transform, that would be equal to small a into x1 e to the power j omega plus small b x2 e raised to the power j omega. That means here capital X1 is representing the DTFT for X1n and capital X2 is representing the DTFT of X2n. So individually they will be multiplied and added. So this is the linearity property. Second property is a very important property, that is the time shifting property. So as you can see on the left hand side, you have a time domain signal and instead of xn, it is xn minus n naught. So there is a shifting in the time domain. Now if you shift a signal in time domain, what will happen to its DTFT? Let us see the effect. So x e to the power j omega remains as it is. That is, it was the transform of x of n. But an extra factor will be coming here into play, and that extra factor is e raised to the power minus j omega n naught. Like for example, if I am having a time domain signal of xn minus 3, so the factor would be e raised to the power minus j omega 3. This is very important. Then third property is the frequency shifting property. Now, let us begin from the right hand side of this particular formula. So, in the right hand side, we can see this omega minus omega naught is showing the frequency shifting, as omega is the frequency and we can see there is a shift in the frequency. It can be like omega minus 3, omega plus 2, something like that. So, there is a shifting in RHS we can see. Now, we will see the corresponding effect in the time domain signal. What happens? The time domain signal xn gets multiplied by a factor e raised to the power j omega naught n. So this is the frequency shifting property. The fourth property is the conjugation and conjugate symmetry property. This is very interesting property. What happens in this? All of you might be knowing like how we take conjugates of complex numbers. Like suppose we have a signal xn. Its conjugate is denoted by x star of n. It is denoting the conjugate of the signal xn. So its transform is given by capital X star e raised to the power minus j omega. You can see normally the transform was represented by capital X e raised to the power j omega. So what we will do to the already existing result, instead of omega, we can replace omega by minus omega and also take the conjugate of the final result because it is written capital X star and the star is denoting the conjugate of a signal. The next property is the differentiation property. Now, if we multiply the time domain signal xn by a factor n, then what happens to its DTFT? What will happen? We can take the derivative of the DTFT with respect to omega, that is d by d omega of capital X e raised to the power j omega, and then multiply the final result with j. So this is the differentiation property. The sixth property is the time reversal property. Now, if I take minus n in place of n for x of n, so what will happen to its DTFT? You can observe just omega is replaced by minus omega. The seventh property is the convolution property. What does it say? Like if I have a signal y of n equal to xn convolution hn. Just note this symbol is the symbol for convolution. We are taking convolution of two signals in the time domain. Now let us see what happens to the DTFT. Now y e raised to the power j omega is the dTft for yn. So this would be given by the product of the individual dTFTs of xn and hn. So it can be clearly seen that in the time domain we are using convolution, and this convolution gets converted to just multiplication, simple multiplication in the frequency domain. This property is very useful in the analysis of systems where taking convolution is very complex. So we try to prefer the multiplication scenario. Now, the last property which we are going to consider is the Parseval's relation. What does it say? If we have the signal xn in the time domain and we take its modulus and take a square of it and add all the terms from n varying from minus infinity to infinity, then what happens in the frequency domain? In the frequency domain, we can take the integration of the dTft modulus square for a time period of 2 pi and divide the final result by 2 pi. So this is the Parseval's relation. Where is it helpful? Sometimes like doing integration is simpler as compared to summation. So in those cases, we prefer using the Parseval's relation. A very important point which you must note here is in DTFT, the frequency domain is continuous and periodic. I hope you remember the time period. What is the time period? Yes, it is 2 pi. And the time domain is discrete. As you can see in the above relation, for discrete signals, we take summation, and for continuous signals, we take integration. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any doubts, you can post in the comment section. I would be glad to answer your queries. Thank you so much.